On a June day in 1984, my boys, Patrick and Christopher, were diagnosed with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, a catastrophic muscle disease that's progressive. I went home that day wondering why the sun was shining, and I decided that we would do anything and everything to fight for my son's lives. In my travels, I found parents and family members around the world that had the same feeling. We thought about action, we thought about intent, we thought about passion, we thought about fight. We decided that we would be Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy, a family effort to change the outcome for someone we love. The muscular dystrophies are a group of disorders that affect both children and adults, males and females. Duchenne muscular dystrophy is the most common. It affects primarily boys, 1 in 3,500 male births. The cause of Duchenne is a genetic mutation. It causes the absence of a protein called dystrophin, a shock absorber. Because you don't have this shock absorber, muscle cells slowly disintegrate and die. This genetic mutation is on the X chromosome. It's often passed through the mother, or in many cases it happens spontaneously. That means that anyone is at risk to have a child with Duchenne muscular dystrophy or to become a carrier.
Before Nicholas was even diagnosed, I never knew that there was anything going on with my son. My mom, her brother had Duchenne, and my grandmother was over one day, and they both watched Nicholas walk up the stairs. They both looked at each other and said, "I hope not."
When the child is really young, he looks very good because he is growing and turning over muscle cells, so he's getting new ones as these muscle cells degenerate. But as growth stops, then you begin to see the classic signs of Duchenne muscular dystrophy: waddling gait due to weakness in the hips and trunk muscles. They also get off the floor in a very characteristic way called a Gower maneuver. By the time they're 8 to 12 years old, they're off their feet and unable to walk.
Hey guys, let's spin around in circles.
By the time they're in their early teens, their arms are really weak, and so they're unable to really do the activities of daily living like scratch their nose, brush their hair, throw their arms around people they love. By the time they're in their late teens, they need respiratory support to help them breathe, and finally the heart does not survive because it too is a muscle. Strangely enough, the smile muscles are always present in Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's hard to imagine when your heart's breaking and when a young man is losing his life that he can still smile. The mission of PPMD is to improve the treatment, quality of life, and long-term outlook for all individuals diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy through research, advocacy, education, and compassion. 50 years ago, I can't even imagine what Duchenne muscular dystrophy must have been like for families. I can imagine the heartbreak, but I can't imagine what they did or how they coped. 20 years ago, when my boys were diagnosed, there were no organizations for Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
My first advice to the Parent Project was to try to get the NIH and Congress more heavily involved in trying to do something about this disease.
PPMD is the only organization that's involved in a strategic effort to advocate on behalf of Duchenne muscular dystrophy in Washington, D.C.
The hearing has been scheduled at the specific request of the Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy.
Mr. Chairman, Congress is very generous to NIH, but this disease, the #1 lethal genetic disease of childhood, gets only 1/1000th of the NIH budget. Before his death, my son Christopher said to me, "If you will not fight for me, who will?" Today, we're not seeking exceptional funding for our children. We seek equity. Mr. Chairman, it's too late for my own sons, but with your help, this disease will change. Thank you.
Their voices were heard. PPMD was able to get the MDA Care Act enacted, which has changed the funding landscape tremendously. Congress has done something, the NIH has done something, and the science is responding. So I think over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see breakthroughs for these patients and for muscular dystrophies in general.
PPMD is a catalyst. We go and stimulate research, and then we try to leverage money into the research that will accelerate its translation into the clinic. 85 cents out of every dollar is going into state-of-the-art research. We often fund novel ideas, training grants, drug discovery. PPMD currently has a drug discovery program with a biotech in New Jersey.
We are very proud to probably be the first new chemical entity, a new drug being developed in Duchenne. While this drug is only for about 15% of the population, it will set the path. It will help us understand how we can advance these other promising therapies through the development process.
Our reaction was, this is terrific news for a certain percentage of the boys. So we formed a project called Project Catalyst to propel drug discovery capable of delivering treatments to the other 85% of the boys.
We jointly wrote a grant proposal for the NIH and just been awarded a $15.4 million grant.
We raised several $million dollars, invested in drug discovery. That drug discovery now has hits on all targets.
From a very discouraging atmosphere 7 years ago, it's one filled with great hope. Not only because of emerging treatments for the patients, but I think the patients and their families now feel more empowered.
PPMD is the passion behind Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. We create tools so that parents can inform their local physicians, their community, their school. PPMD is the only organization that provides one-to-one contact with the leading researchers in the world. And then we identify and connect you to the leading physicians to implement care for your son. PPMD is the only organization with an annual conference. The conference brings together researchers, physicians, parents, family members, and some children.
We just found out 3 weeks ago, so I'm just getting a lot of information and it's a little overwhelming.
No families in our area that have a boy or boys with Duchenne's. So coming here is just, it's an awesome experience.
We can actually bounce ideas off each other.
Share experiences.
You realize you're not alone.
We decided to come just the two of us. I think we get closer these 2 days. It's us against DMD.
I get to meet like other people like me around, talk about stuff.
I think in a lot of ways you guys have it worse than we do because we're in it all the time and it's part of our life, whereas you have to watch.
It makes me feel good when I talk about my success. Other people can take that strength from me, borrow that strength, and I can help them get through some of their struggles.
Catastrophic disease is really very, very difficult. It impacts everything you do, everyone you know. In about 80% of the cases, marriages fall apart because of the nature of the illness.
Well, if I'm having a down day, he picks me up. When he's having a down day, I pick him up. You know, we're honest with each other, we're honest with our feelings.
Don't stop living. That to me is the key. Because if you stop living, they stop living.
When a family contacts us through telephone, internet, however they come, within 24 hours, they're responded to. They're connected with others, they're connected into the best medical care, they're given tools to help their son.
Most people that find this out are in shock. It's really scary. If you're the doctor, just tell them, okay, these are the steps you need to take now. Steroids, get to a team, a neurologist, a physiatrist, a nutritionist, cardiologist. Just have a plan and tell them about the Parent Project. They're our lifeline.
Boys are living longer, they're moving longer, they're doing better, less surgeries, less pneumonias because we know how to protect their heart and lungs. We know now how to care, and pretty soon we'll know how to treat. The great anthropologist Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of committed individuals can change the world." Thanks to you, our families, our extended families, our friends, our communities, we are changing the world of Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. And together, we will end Duchenne.
I play wheelchair power hockey. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I also and I'm a Laurel and Hardy fan. They need faster wheelchairs.
One thing I would like to see is the doctors not giving such a grim prognosis.
Anything is possible.
Sure is hope.